Hello everyone, is the audio audible? Can you all hear me? Kindly let me know in the chat box if you can hear me. Write your name in the comment box with your domain, internship domain. Write your name in the comment box with your Okay, so let us start with today's assignment. Uh, First of all, we are going to discuss web development assignment. Meanwhile, you can mark your attendance in the chat box. Okay, so according to assignment, you are instructed to develop a web page that would have several internships with a button, right? And all the details in a box. So this is the code for that, and we are going to discuss it line by line now. If you have any doubts, kindly let me know in the chat box. Okay. As discussed previously, the first line is doc type HTML and HTML lang. These declares the document type and version of HTML. This declares that the version we are using is HTML5. Okay, and this is the root element of our HTML document, which specifies the language of the document as English. Okay, moving on, we have the head section where we have all the meta information of the web page. First we have meta charset UTF-8, which sets the character encoding for the document to UTF-8, right, which supports almost all characters. practice for character sets. Moving on, the next line, meta name viewport. It ensures the web page is responsive by setting the viewport to match the device's width and initial scale, so that it is responsive for different web browsers or devices. Then we have given a title to our web page using title tag, and this is how we close the title. In the next line, we are linking our HTML file to the CSS file, this one. Using the href, we provide the name and location of the CSS file. Okay, moving on to the body section. Yes, there is a specific link for submission of week 2 assignment. It is also given inside the document which is being sent on the group. No, it's not the same for week 1. The submission link is inside the document. Okay, moving on to our body of the HTML document. First we have defined a heading, internships. Okay, then moving on to div tag. This div element with the class card container, this will act as a container for the individual internship cards, right? First of all, let me show you. So this is what we are trying to create, right? So this div class is used to create this card, right? Because we need separate cards. Okay, moving on. Okay, now we are going to style each card using div class again and specifying for card. Okay, we are providing h2 size for another heading which is web development internship. Then we are creating a list, ordered list using ol tag, and these are the list items which will be displayed like this. You can also use an unordered list using ul tag. Okay, you can use ol or ul tag. Then for button, we are using a button tag, and this is the text that we want to display on the button, right, as shown here. Then we are going to close this div tag, right? Now we need to create another internship for, let's say, app development. So we are going to use again this div class, but new one inside the previous class. Okay, here the same way we made previous one. Now we are going to create this app development one, same method. After closing the div tag, again the same method for Python, and so on till Java. Closing the initial div tag and body HTML tag, we have something like this, but this is after using HTML, oh sorry, CSS, right? We have the CSS file also. If we remove this CSS file, the web page would be like this, right? So we need CSS to make our page something like this. You can use your own creativity to enhance it more. Okay, this is just a basic format. moving on to our CSS styling part. First of all, we have the body styling. Okay, here we are specifying the font family as Arial sans serif and background color as green, as shown here. You can choose any color. Okay, then styling the header part, heading H1, which we specified as internships. We have just use a single element as text aligns as center. As you can see, it is in center, right? Now we are styling the card containers, these card containers that we created using div class, right? So for layout we are using display flex. It is for flex box layout for the card container. Okay, and this wrap allows the card to wrap to the next line if they don't fit in one row. Okay, for example, if these two are not fitting in one row, for that we are using this wrap feature. This allows the card to wrap to the next line if they don't fit in one. Okay, so that it can move below one. Okay, as you can see, web development and app, but Python couldn't be fixed right to it, so it has moved downwards. Okay, moving on to justify content. It This is used to distribute the cards evenly with space around them, right? This space around them. We are using justify. And next tab, which is padding. As discussed in previous classes also, padding will add here, for example, we have specified 30 pixels. This add 30 pixels of padding inside the card container. Okay, you can also change it. If we see, this is 30. If I save it and then refresh, this is 50. You can increase it even more, okay, according to your wish, or decrease it. Now it is even more smaller. I think 30 would be fine. Okay, now we are styling the card that we created here for each internship, right? If we want different styling for each internship, we can name different ones like card 1, card 2, card 3, and then we can style them separately here. Okay, in the card we are first using the border, setting as 1 pixel and color as it is gray. Okay, this adds 1 pixel solid border with a light gray color, as you can see at the border, right? It is a very small border with gray color. Padding is set as 20 pixels and margin as 10 pixels. You can play around and see what changes it can make, right? Now as I have increased the margin, right, so now they can't fit in one box, so it has moved downwards. If you change it like this, now it will fit. Now I have set it as 10 pixels, right? Moving on, with cal 50% minus 40 pixels to 40 pixels. Sorry, sets the width of each card to 50% of the container's width minus 40 pixels to account for padding and margin. Understood? This will set each card, each card to 50% of container. Okay, and minus 40 pixels. Minus 40 pixels. Background is given as red. Oh, sorry, white. You can choose whatever color you want. and box sizing is box border. This ensures padding is included in the width. Okay. Yes, you will surely get week 3 assignment today. Yes, we are going to discuss AI and prompt engineering assignment after this. Okay, moving on to media queries. Okay, media max with 800 pixels. This applies enclosed styles only if the viewport width is 800 pixels or less. Okay, it is used for responsiveness as written in the comments here. Same way that we it declared width here, we are also declaring width here also. It is full width for smaller screens, right? So basically we are using media query here to make this web page responsive for different devices, right? We are applying these media queries so that if the viewport with this 800 pixels or less, we can have this one, or if we have like this full width for smaller screens. For smaller screens we have already decided the width here, which would be uh, minus 40 pixels out of the 100% of the container's width, right? This is for containers width. Moving on to the buttons, we can style the buttons here. Okay, this button block makes the button a block level element, which means it will take a full width available to it. Okay, width is set as 40%, which sets the button to 40% of width containers width. Okay, as you can see, it is containing almost 40% of the containers width. You can change it also. Let's say 20. 20 would be small, I think. Now the button is smaller, right? 20 would be more appropriate. This margin set as 0 and auto. This centers the button horizontally, right? And background color here we have set as uh, blue, right? You can change whatever color you want. The color here for is white. As you can see, the text color is white. Okay, we have changed the background color for button. For background color we are going to use background color, and for text it is simply color. Then simply adding padding for our button. Okay, this 20 pixels is padding for to the top and bottom, and 10 pixels is this 10 pixel is for left and right of the button. Okay, this is 20 and 10, 20 and 10. Okay, border is set as none. This border is set as none. Border radius is 5 pixels. This rounds the corners of the button. Okay, as you can see here, the button has a bit of roundness, right? If you set as 0, then it won't be round. Let's see. As you can see, now the button is not tile round. Now it is a bit more rounded, right? You can increase it even more. Let's say 50. Now it is more round the corners. Okay, to round the corners you could use a border radius inside button. Okay, the cursor pointer. This makes to change the cursor. As you can see, when we move our cursor towards the button, it suddenly changes to a pointer, right? Now it's a cursor, but when we move it here, it becomes a pointer, right? So for that we are using cursor here. So this was your week 2 assignment, and after today's class we are going to send week 3. For those who are facing any issues in this assignment, you can also message us and we will send you the solution for this web page. Okay. Moving on to our next assignment for AI and prompt engineering, right? So AI and prompt engineering assignment, let us see. Okay, the assignment stated research and summarize uh, advanced prompt engineering techniques such as zero shot, few shot, and chain of thought prompting. Okay, let us discuss these types of prompting. First of all, let's discuss zero shot prompting. As the name suggests, zero shot prompting is the type of prompting which involves a task without providing any example. Okay, in zero shot prompting there is no example given to the AI model. Okay, for example, if you tell the AI specific task, for example, let's say the prompt is given translate the following sen- sentence to Hindi, right? And the sentence is hello, good morning. So what the AI will do is simply it will generate answer. But if we discuss the prompting technique used here, okay, this is called zero shot prompting because no example is given here and no example is also needed. AI will simply give it out its answer. Okay, so this is called zero shot prompting. Okay, this is zero shot prompting. What are the applications? This type of prompting is used for question and answering, Q and A. Okay, and basically it is used for text generation. Okay, it cannot handle bigger tasks. Okay, this was your example for zero shot prompting. Let us discuss few shot prompting. Okay, this would give you some clarity now. Few shot prompting. Okay, as the name suggests, few shot prompting is a prompting technique where we give a few example uh, to the AI model. Okay, for example, uh, let's take this example once again. This is our prompt, but what we will do is in the next line we will give an example for the AI also. Okay, this can be also used when you are solving a math problem, right? Or you want a specific answer, right? So in this technique we will use few shot prompting where we are giving few examples to the AI, right? What are the applications? Majorly it is used for summarization, right? Summarize. Okay, it is used for styling part. When AI is not giving you sometimes specific or correct answers, then you need to give it few examples, okay, on what type of output do you want from it. So that is called few shot prompting. Okay, moving on to the third prompting technique, which is chain of thought prompting. This is a bit complex. Okay, to explain this one, I will also show you an example. Chain of thought prompting. So this type of prompting involves guiding the AI model through step-by-step reasoning and process to reach a conclusion. In this type, we provide step-by-step instructions to AI on how they can reach to a conclusion. It is basically used for when we are solving complex problems. So its application would be for mathematical questions. Okay, reasoning, logic. Okay, or you in logic, or while solving complex tasks or scientific tasks. Okay, now let us see an example of chain of thought prompting. If I have chat GPT logged in here, wait, I'll use another Chrome. Okay, so for example, if I tell the AI to create an Python exam of 20 marks, let's see what would be the output. Let's wait and watch the output that it would give us. Week 2 assignment last date is Monday. Jai Shri Ram. No need to spam, okay? Jai Shri Ram. Let's see what the AI has given. Okay, so when I told AI to create an Python exam of 20 marks, it created the exam out of its own will. Okay, section A, section B, section C. Okay, and now we have answers for that too. Okay, so this is a basic example of a zero shot prompting. Now let us try a chain of thought prompting. Okay, I will now give it step by step instructions. Step 1, write basic instructions for students on top. 2, write rules. Step 3, write details like duration, total marks and evaluation. Okay, and we can give some more tasks like step 4, uh, create 4 sections A, B, oh sorry, A, B, C, D. So this is an example of chain of prompting. So let us see what output we get now. Okay, see, now we have a better response. uh, Now it looks better. It looks like an exam. We have instructions, then we have rules, basic details, and evaluation for each section. Then we have the exam. We can give more instructions like create MCQ in section A, true and false in B, fill in the blanks in C. Right? So this is the example of chain of thought prompting. This was your solution for week 2. Okay, we covered both assignments. Okay, I gave you example also, this experiment, right? I will also share uh, an example of how you have to submit this assignment in the group. Okay, a sample. You can submit in Word file or PDF file. Now let us discuss Python assignment. Okay, Python programming. Okay, this was your assignment to write a program to count word frequencies in a given text. So what you were required to do here is write a program that would take a sentence or a text from the user, right, and then count the frequencies of each word, which means how many times they are occurring in a program, and tell out the frequency, right? So let us see. This is the program. Now we are going to discuss this line by line. Okay, so first of all, we have defined a function here using def keyword, and this is the name of the function, and we are passing one parameter here as text, right, which we need from the user. In the second line, we are initializing an empty dictionary. The name is word frequency. Okay, this is an empty dictionary which will store the frequency of each word. Nextly, we are splitting the text into each separate words. Okay, into a list of words. By default, it will split the sentence by white spaces. Okay, in the sentence. Now we are using for loop to iterate over each word present in the list of our words. This is the list that we have, list of words. Okay, we are going to iterate over each loop, and using the strip function we would remove any of these characters present in the sentence. Okay, then we using lower function will convert the whole sentence into lowercase characters. No capital characters would be left. And then after counting the words, we are using conditional statement if. This ensures that the string is empty, okay, or are not processed. So if the word if word in word frequency, if it is present, the count is incremented by 1. Okay, if the word that we are iterating through right now is already present in our dictionary, okay, then it would iterate by 1, else it would remain the same as 1. Okay, then we would return our dictionary Moving on to the main function that would execute. First of all, we are taking an input from the user. Okay, enter the text. Then we are sending this text as a parameter to our function. Here we are calling the function into our empty list, right? And then we are printing word frequencies. To print that, we are again using for loop so that we iterate over each element, right? Meanwhile, if you have doubts, kindly leave them in the chat box. Right. So while printing, first we will use for loop to iterate over each word and frequency. Here we are using sorting function, sorted, which sorts the item in the dictionary alphabetically. Okay, whatever words that we would have in this dictionary or in this list, it was sorted alphabetically. Okay, so when we run this program, let us see, it is asking us to enter a text. Let's say, hi, my name is Rohan, and then the reply would come, hi, Rohan. After pressing enter, the program gives us the frequency of each word. Let's see, we have hi two times, right? This hi, this hi. Is came once, my and name came once, but Rohan came twice, right? This high counted as two times because here we used lower function. Okay, if we would delete this, okay, and if we run this program again and I would type the same sentence, hi, my name is Rohan, hi, Rohan. Now it would count the capital high and the small high as different, as you can see, right? That is why you need to use this lower function here. Okay, yes, it is necessary to post on LinkedIn. Moving on to the next program, which is finding the square of numbers. I think it was the easiest program. Okay, so you are required to print the square of each number present in a list. Okay, so this is the list and you have to calculate square of each number, right? So in this program, let us discuss this. Here we are defining a function named as print square of number. Okay, and this is the parameter that we are passing numbers. After that, we are running a for loop where we are iterating each number present in this numbers. Okay, then we are initializing name as square, and in that we are multiplying each number, powering each number by 2. If you use a single asterisk, this means multiply and this is power. Okay, then we are simply printing it. Okay, print the square of the previous number and this is the squared number. Then initializing the uh, main body here, main function. Okay, here we have initialized the list numbers. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Then firstly we are printing the original number. Okay, and then we are printing the square of the numbers, right? To print the square of numbers, we are calling out this function that we created above, print square of numbers, and passing the variable a parameter inside this number. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, kindly leave them in the chat box. Shall we move on to the next question, which is a palindrome checker? Okay, first of all, let's discuss what is palindrome. Okay, so we are it is instructed to check for a word palindrome. Okay, not a number, to be clear. So a palindrome word is a word that stays the same even if you read it from left to right or right to left. For example, radar. If you read it left to right, it is radar, R-A-D-A-R. If you read it right to left, it is still radar, R-A-D-A-R, right? Another example would be mom. It is same this way or this way. Or we can say another example would be madam. It is also a palindrome word, right? Left to right and right to left is same. Let us see the program for it. This is the program for palindrome checker. Okay. First of all, we are defining a user defined function using def keyword, and the name is palindrome, and we are passing a parameter word here. Okay, as we did in the word frequency program, first we are going to uh, convert all the word into lowercase characters. Okay, and then we are reversing the word and storing it in this variable named as reversed word. Okay, why? Because if it is a palindrome word, even after reversing it, it should remain the same, right? Even if you reverse it. So to check that, we are reversing the number. To reverse the number here, okay, we are uh, using the slice operation. The slice, this one, okay, is a common Python idiom for reversing a string. Okay, so what this word is, let me write a bit. Wait. So this word actually means like this. I'll show you. Start. This is the start. Okay. Then stop. And then we write the step. So we have not initialized the start and stop, and step is -1, which means the word would we would move -1, which means the word would move backwards, right? So this would reverse the number, oh, the word that the user has entered. Okay, then we are going to check if the original word is equal to the reverse. Okay, here we are returning the return word assignment operator equals to reversed word. Okay, then word equals to input, enter a word. Now we are taking input from the user, right? If is palindrome, we are calling that function word. Okay, if the condition is met, true, print word is a palindrome, else it would return false, right? So this was your program. Okay, for palindrome number. uh, just a second. So let us see. Enter a word. For example, I write Rohan. It says Rohan is not a palindrome, which is right, it is not. Let us say Malayalam. Is Malayalam a palindrome word? Yes, it is. Even if you read it right to left, it's still the same, even after reversing. Let's say radar, it is still a palindrome number. Okay, so this was for today's class. I think we have discussed all the questions here. Thank you for joining, and the last date is Monday, and after this class we will send the week 3 assignment. Okay, thank you for joining, and now we are closing the stream. Thank you for joining. Good night.